Hi, welcome to Ocean's Mirror. So today I'm going to do about a young lady who was in whose father was part of a cult. So I'm gonna find her story. Oh, where is it? Okay, I think it's here. I don't think that's the one. Hold on. I hate when this happens. I didn't actually line it up properly because, um, you know, let me see if I can find it without looking into all the other bits what I saved. Right, so this young lady, she was in a cult. Well, but because of her father, and she goes through a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff. Um, it's one of those stories where you just think, damn, she's very detailed in telling the story. So that's why I'm trying to find it because I really believe that you all should hear it as I'm covering the cults that's been happening over here of recently. Um, so I feel that this story is more fitting because of let me go to his channel. Okay, let me find her. Oh, there she is. Did I find her? Yeah, I did. Yes, I found her. Okay, let me see. I can get it on the screen. Oh, there's loads of adverts. Okay, this is part one of her story. And her name, she goes by the name of Wealth Speaks. Now, when I'm listening to the story, because I listened to some of it, right, it's a very moving story. It's very moving because she's very detailed in the way she's telling this story as well. And, you know, this girl is literally a survivor of her own story. She's a survivor, right? So, what I'm going to do, like, if there is certain words, I don't know. I don't know how to get rid of the words, what she says, but I'm going to just play it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to play it. Things playing. I'm pressing the wrong thing in it.
Hello and welcome back to Glow Talks, where we
I think it would make me feel a lot better, and I don't know, I just feel more comfortable with that.
When did you turn 18?
In March, end of March.
So you are, what year was you born? 2000 and...
7.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Oh, I don't want to hear about 2007 being crazy.
No, it is. I mean, to me, it's crazy. Like 2007, I was born in 93.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
That's what I'm saying. I must be like some dinosaur.
That's actually crazy.
And there was actually a stage in my life where when I was 18, I thought like I'll be forever young. And now I'm sitting here with you and it's like, yeah, it's good though. It's good that my channel allows me to have different age groups because like I've got different viewers that
Yeah.
are definitely going to be interested in you and your story, and it just highlights what different people go through no matter how old you are.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I appreciate you for even coming here to sit with me and telling me your story.
Thank you for having me.
Before we get into anything, I want to get to know you. You know, I want to get to know you as a person, who you are, like your upbringing, your trials and tribulations. Let's start off with yourself. When you were born in this country?
Okay, so I was born in Camden,
Yeah.
Royal Free Hospital.
Yeah.
Obviously, when I was born, my parents were never together to begin with. So I was born and my mum had my other siblings. So I have an older brother, an older sister, another older brother, and then it's me. And obviously when I was born, I was living with my mum for a little bit. And then I guess from the beginning.
Okay, so I'm going to give an overview of this story, right? A little bit before she gets really deep dive into it, all right? So this young lady, right, is a spoken public speaker. Her father's a cult. Her father's a cult leader. She described being raised in a cult led by a Congolese father. She referred to him as the cult leader and has discussed being subjected to his rules from a very young age. She has traumatic experience, well spoke about the psychological abuse, trauma bonding, exploitation she endured as a child within the cult. Now, she does talk about foster care, and she shared her story in this broadcast in August, and yeah, so she's been through quite a lot. She's been through quite a lot, right? So so not only is she with a cult. So what I like about this podcaster is how he talks to her and gets her to talk about a little bit more other than what they're going to talk about. So it's slow, but she does actually get there to the point where she talks about the father part. So I'm going to let it play.
Like from since I was born, just even before I came out of the womb, things were already going on. Like I wasn't even here yet, and things were going on. My mum was facing abusive behavior from my biological father while she was pregnant with me. I've always heard stories about things he's done to my siblings, incidents of football stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like before I even got into their hands, kind of chaos was already happening. I was already being brought into life.
Sorry, I was on the other screen. You're saying I'm muted? Oh, I was on the other screen. That's why I didn't see you. This. Oops. I'm gonna get through it. Hi, if you can hear me. Hi, Omar. It's gonna be playing about. It's gonna get on my nerves. I know it is. It's gonna literally get on my nerves. But you know what? I'm just gonna deliver the message. You know, this young lady. So right now she's getting her background before she gets to the meat and potatoes of everything. And because I've been covering cults for a while, since this new group did arrive in, well, they've been there a while. Since I've been covering the Kingdom of Kabbalah, I thought this was fitting because being that they're African as well, she is actually Congolese herself, or origin wise, and I did listen to some of the story, so I thought I'd put it up. I'm gonna try not to use too much of his thingy. I'm gonna try to get it to the point as much as possible because she really goes in deep about certain stuff, and I mean, on her channel, she covers a lot of ground, Like, you wouldn't think that such a young lady had been through so much, but she is a survivor because she makes it out and she's able to tell the story. Okay, so this is the whole reasoning why I put her up. So even if I skip parts, because I want to get to the parts that is the most important parts, because I put up Jean Gashaw's daughter on here as well. So it'd be more fitting if I put this young lady up because they're young people in it. So it'll make more sense. So let me just.
Like a dysfunctional family. But when I was born, I wasn't allowed to see him. I didn't see him until everyone else.
What side was that?
Like a more vulnerable side.
Virgin Games and Jackpot Blast.
That's better. This was looking crazy. I'm thinking, was it looking white on the other side? I bet it was. Anyways, so she comes from a very strict African family, and it sounded like he like the children didn't like him a lot. The actions and stuff like that. But anyways, I'm gonna let her tell it, and then I'm gonna cut in parts. Okay, what I feel I should cut into.
Two of you. So you said you started connecting more with your dad's side of living. Tell me about that, your first experience when you stayed at your dad's house. What was that like, and how old was you?
Seek new experiences.
So, with my very first experience living with him or visiting him.
Let's start with visiting him.
So my first experience, like visiting him, that I always go back to was when he was visiting me at McDonald's.
Yeah.
And obviously, my mum was supervising that, and that's where everything kind of stemmed from. Like, that's the root.
Who put that supervision in place? Was that social services, or was that just your mum being cautious?
No, it was court ordered, so my mum didn't have a choice. Because I remember, like, sometimes she wouldn't bring me, and then she'd get in trouble. Social worker would turn up and say that she violated something.
Yeah.
But we'd be at McDonald's, and literally my mum would be at a different table. I'd be at a table with him. Sometimes you'd bring, like, every other weekend, there was always like a different woman with him.
Really?
I never ever saw the same consistent face. I always just saw a different woman.
What? So he's bringing another woman to see you, and your mum's like just over there.
Yeah, but eventually my mum stopped coming. I stopped being her to come and sit. I don't know the woman's name, but I just remember her face, this black woman.
Yeah.
I just remember this other black woman sitting there and then walking me back to my mum's house after.
Yeah.
But whilst we was there, we was in McDonald's. I don't even know what I thought when I first got told that, okay, you're going to start seeing this man who's apparently your dad and da-da-da-da. Because I remember first he was so big on me calling him dad.
Was he?
Yeah, like so big on me calling him dad, and so kind of like, oh, like I have a daughter. Like he was very showy off, like, because I guess I was the first.
Yeah, of course.
But quickly, I think.
Oh, he's one of them, is he? He's one of them ones. Like, even though he didn't take part in growing her up, right? But he liked the title, the dad title. And then instead of coming there by his Jimmy Jacks, he come there turning up with a different type of woman. How crazy is that? That's just mad. I don't know. Anyways, let me listen on.
Couple visits after, like my first visit, I remember there was this one occasion I came back from McDonald's and I had a pink Barbie car.
Yeah.
And my mom asked me like, "Oh, why'd you keep taking things from him?" And I said, "Oh, today I got it because like I learned new rules and stuff." And obviously that's where the introduction I learned came. And obviously as a child, like firstly being introduced to me, I didn't question it.
How old was you when this was introduced to you?
I was young. Like
Yeah.
I have pictures of like how old I was, but I don't remember the age. But I was young.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking like little. I probably still just came off nappies or something. But I never questioned him. Like when he brought it up and like learning the rules, I never questioned him. And like even when I look back at it now and I'm thinking, how exactly did it start? It's happened for so much of my life that it's so hard to pinpoint the exact time that it started.
Yeah.
But I just know that the rules became my life. The rules became basically like a mantra that I repeat in my head all the time. And then bit by bit, it just pulled me away from the whole world. And it was like me, my biological father, and his cult one side, and then the rest of the world on the other.
So you came home with a pink Barbie toy
Yeah.
and you was rewarded this toy by your dad because you just learned 112 rules.
I think at that point it was because I don't think I learned the exact 112, but like what he would do, like how it worked was I'd sit there, he would say the rules, and then I'd repeat back to him and say, "This means that when Papa says da 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 da," then like stuff like that.
Tell us, what was these rules?
For example, one of the rules was that I was an object to men. So this rule, I don't know, I always remember this one because he always repeated it. Like even when like I'd go through my rebellious stages, he'd be like, "What does the rule say?" Like to kind of bring me back. Like, what does the rule say? So that you're an object to men. But he'd be like, so here in the rules it states, and then he'd say that the name that they'd call me by in the group, because I didn't go by wealth there, and say is an object to men, hereby said by, and then the person who made the rule, which obviously I can't say his name, but by him. And I would just repeat back that my name is, I'm an object to men, and I believe da 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 da. And sometimes it was hard to always repeat back, especially because it was so much information I had to take in.
I can imagine.
And that shift, like in like different worlds and different beliefs, it was hard. But eventually something in my brain just got it, and I just started to pull away. And I think it's because things in my mum's house started to get really, really bad.
In what way?
My relationship with my siblings was completely done.
Yeah.
Like it didn't even feel like it's 6 of us, but it felt like my mum only had 5 kids.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's particularly because of anything they've done. I don't think it was because of them. I think it's just because I just didn't feel like I was included in the house.
Yeah.
Even certain, like, because I'd go away and I was the only one seeing my biological family, and we did this, we did that. Like, I just didn't feel included in anything. And we just didn't have that relationship, like, I don't really know how siblings are meant to be, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But how I see my friends and their siblings now, like, you know, talking or like kind of like that arguing thing, we just didn't have that. It was awkward and tense between us, and just made me feel uncomfortable. And then every time I'd come back from visiting my biological father, everyone was just silent and no one wanted to speak to me. And then eventually I got closer and closer to him, and he started to teach me to basically distance myself from my family and see them as enemies. And I think when that shift in my brain happened and I started to see everyone that wasn't a part of the group as an enemy, I feel like that's when
So he was grooming her, basically. You know, in cults, that's what they do. They groom people to think that how your families is the enemy. So he's doing this is the grooming situation. Your mum's no good. This one's no good. That one's no good. They're the devil. They're evil. Yeah. So it's like a grooming situation that he is doing to his own daughter, because he is this leader. Yeah.
the world kind of lost me in a way.
Did you ever tell your mum about these rules? Like, did you ever come home and be like, Dad's teaching me these rules?
My mum tried to protect me so many times.
Yeah.
Like so many times. But I think what people need to understand, like obviously I don't study psychology, I simply speak from experience.
Yeah.
But when a child is exposed to that kind of environment, especially like a cult environment, and they start to see everyone else as an outsider, it becomes so hard to accept help.
That's true,
because
yeah.
what you might perceive as, oh, I'm trying to help her, I don't perceive it as, okay, you're trying to help me.
Yeah.
I might see it as, I don't know, maybe they're trying to trick me. And I think that's something to this day I still struggle with it. When someone tries to do something else, I'm kind of like, but why are you doing that? Like, what reason do you have to do that? And with my mom, it became a thing of, I didn't trust her and I didn't believe her, because the stories that both her and my biological father were always saying about what happened between them never matched up, number one.
Yeah.
I didn't like the way she treated my biological father at all.
Yeah.
And then my biological father just got into my head that my mum hated me. She hated me so much. And sometimes, like, when I'd be living with my mum, I'd experience it. Like, I'd feel like she hated me because of what I am, because I'm his child, his biological child. And because of how much my mum and my siblings hated him.
Felix, as good as it looks. Tender pieces of jelly.
Feed your dog.
Keep losing the screen. Okay, people, I do this all the time. When my screen drop, I have to stop everything and reload the screen. I don't want to jump ahead. I want you guys to get a picture of what's going on here. What she's talking about is actually how cults get into people's heads. That's basically what she's doing. Like, but he's doing it with his own child. It's not like it's a stranger, it's his own child he's doing it. He's already made her distance herself. Like, you know, family already feel a certain way about him because whatever he's doing some wrongdoings. Because remember, I didn't listen to everything at the beginning. All right, because I wanted to get to the part of the cult part of it, and you know, I mean, like she goes through a lot of space. She goes to okay.
And how much sometimes I think my mum says that I resemble my biological father. I think personally I physically look like my mum. But I think just looking at me would remind her of the past and what he put her through in the past. And that's where me and my mum are clashing. That's where we can't get over what's happened to her, and I'm here because of him. And so eventually I pulled away from my mum. I stopped trying to understand her. I stopped trying to get her to see me for me and as his child. I just gave up, and she gave up as well. But she was trying. She was always trying, and she was always telling me like how, like in her own ways though. It's not like, I think with me as a child, when people explain things to me, I would get it a lot better. If you just tell me what to do, or just tell me, oh, this person's bad, but you don't explain to me why this person is bad, I'm most likely, the cycle won't break. It's still gonna like remain a cycle. My mum and my siblings never ever explained, like our communication was so poor. And I think had our communication been a lot better as well, and had I been allowed that space, like as a child growing up, to be able to talk to my mum, to my siblings about things going on, I think things probably would have ended a lot more different. But especially in like a Congolese African household, certain things don't get spoken about. So I felt ashamed to come and talk to my mum and say, okay, when I'm spending the weekends with my biological father, men are actually raping me. Like I just couldn't feel like I could come to my mum to talk about that, even like hygiene and stuff, or like, mum, this happened to me.
Wow. Oh wow. Oh, sheesh. So right now, Ocean's lost for words, right? You know that, right? it's a shame she couldn't tell her mum what was going on with her. It's a shame. It's a shame. Maybe something could have been done to stop him from taking her to his place or whatever. You know, it's sad because she drops the word. Because I know she's trying to explain the situation, but
me, and now this has happened. What do I do? I could never. I didn't feel comfortable.
You
Like, I
didn't
was
feel
never
it, yeah.
made to feel comfortable, like as a girl, to talk about anything. And then eventually, I stopped seeing my mum as my mum. She just kind of became like a familiar face.
Yeah.
But like a familiar face from my past that I just can't remember, like where she's from. But
Is
like,
it-
I remember her.
Is it fair to say that you may have been getting brainwashed to like hate your mum?
When you say brainwash, what do you mean brainwash?
I mean-
Define brainwash.
I mean brainwashed as in you're going to your dad, he's giving you these rules, he's dropping these hints, these little things in your head to alter the way that you think for yourself. So when you are going to your mum's house, you're not really thinking like you're thinking like your dad.
Me sitting here now, I don't. To this day, I wouldn't be able to say whether or not I've been brainwashed because
Stay loyal, get rewarded.
it's just been my whole life. Like, that's just always what happens.
Yeah.
Someone teaches me something, I learn it, and then I just apply it to my life and then
Yeah.
conform to it.
Yeah.
So, did he brainwash me to hate my mom? He influenced me,
Yeah.
but I think ultimately,
no, that definitely sounds like brainwashing to me. You know, you don't see your mum the same no more. He's kind of set an idea in your head of your mother, and not only that, because of what you're going through in his house as well, right, is also not helping neither. So you kind of see the mother as the enemy other than your mother, basically, the one who brought you into this world, the nurturer, the whatever. He's kind of that is brainwashing. He's kind of brainwashed you because he's already distanced you from your family already. Then he seems to be it's like with most parents, isn't it? When they talk about the other side, the other parent, oh, that one's no good, this one's no good. And until when the child sees that parent is no good, but then they can smoke scream it so you don't see it, or manipulate you into thinking the other parent is the bad one. So that's what I'm getting from what she's saying. In a way, yes, no, like I'm saying, yes, it is brainwashing. Basically, it's brainwashing. He manipulated you.
I knew wrong from right, like from a very young age. I've
Yeah.
always been like smart. I've always known wrong from right. I
Yeah.
think I also have to take some type of accountability.
Yeah.
And that's why now to this day I understand why my mum says that I've hurt her and I've hurt her feelings, because I think I have. She's tried to help me multiple times when my life was at risk, and I didn't let her help me. And I understand why she would step back, because you can't help someone who doesn't want to be helped.
Yeah.
And I think
The
many
thing is,
people-
it's sad because you was just a child.
I know that's what I was gonna say. Many people come up with excuses and be like, "Oh, you was just a child. You was just a child." But I was a child who was aware of a lot of things from way before, like I should have been made aware. I knew wrong from.
But he's right. You're still a child. You're still a child. You know. You're not exactly. You sound very young. Where at the time when he was doing this. Like when you're younger, an adult can manipulate a young person to do whatever. They can set ideas in their mind, and they can make the other person look like the enemy. Yeah, that's what normally happens. He manipulated you, he brainwashed you. That's exactly what it sounds like to me as well. I don't know, there's no other way I can describe it.
Right, from a very, very early age.
Yeah.
I don't know why I decided to go down that path and why I ended up committing my whole life to that cult.
Yeah.
I think it's just down to do with family dynamics, and again as well, my biological father, I was his only child at the time, and obviously on my mum's side it was a packed house, overcrowded. There was so many of us. When I went to my biological father's house, it's like, and his family as well, I'd receive a level of attention I'd never got.
Yeah.
Like growing up with my mum, I don't really know her family that much. All I know is that she has a mum and a brother. Like, I don't really know them too tough. But with my biological father, it's like, because I was the only one there, everything was concentrated onto me. Whereas when I was living with my mum, it just felt like no one saw me because I wasn't getting on with my siblings. I was very much the quiet sibling. Like, no one would know, like, no one would have to check on me.
Yeah.
Like, I'd probably be reading a book or something in the corner of the bed or something. And that probably could have influenced it, especially as a child.
Yeah. I think personally, my opinion, I think the breakdown of relationship with your siblings, your dad feeding you these little things, obviously you're coming home to your mom's, it's very cold, there's no warmth there, you're not getting the love that you should be getting as a little girl, to the point where even your siblings are not talking to you. You're in a household where no one's talking to you. So I guess going to your dad's was an easier option, or like believing or feeling like you're loved from your dad was an easier option. You mentioned earlier that obviously your dad set these rules, these laws you should conform by, and he also introduced you to a cult. Let's talk about the first time you lived with your dad. What was that like? So we're out of the McDonald's now. We're not doing the visits anymore. You're now going there. You're sleeping over. You're staying over. What was that like for you for the first time?
So the first time I ended up... So I went from visiting him at McDonald's, obviously, to then spending weekends and staying with him, to then living with him. Obviously, the first time I was exposed to the cult and like growing up in the cult was during my weekend visits. So I'd visit him every other weekend and split like holidays and half times with him. And like my earliest recollection of like actually being there with him and like the cult happening was, and I always go back to this small apartment that we lived in. It wasn't even an apartment, but he had a house, let's say, and it was the size of a box.
The house was the size of a box.
It was literally the size of a box. The bathroom was right there, the bedroom was right there, like everything was all together.
Really on top of each other, yeah.
And I just remember like my memories of me in that house was it constantly being packed and like me up in the corner on the bed, and then there just being like a bunch of people.
How old was you when you actually started staying there on weekends, every other weekend?
Maybe 4.
Okay.
4 upwards, between the age of 4 and 5.
Okay.
And I just remember like every time I think of that house, that's literally the earliest memory I have of it.
Yeah.
Or like the time when we was in the house and a fire alarm went off in the building, and everyone was running out to go to the van, and I remember I got thrown in the back.
Why did everyone run into the van?
I don't know. I literally just, I get these things in my head like sometimes where I just, bits of the past just randomly come back to me. It's like now as I'm talking, I just randomly remember them.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like they were trying to run away from something or get away from something. They just threw you in the back, because when a normal fire alarm goes off in a normal building, people usually get a towel. They just wave it off. They take the sound off. If it's that deep, the fire brigade pulls up.
I mean, but we were never the type of people to call for help.
It sounds like they was getting raided. That's what it sounds like to me. Sounds like a raid. So I feel the alarm was the alarm for everybody to run out of the building. That's what it's. Yeah, it sounds like they was getting raided. That's what my impression of this is. That situation, because if they pick you up, if they're running and they throw you into the back of the van as well, they're running from something. You know, normally when it's a fire alarm, people normally assemble outside buildings. Um, or they go through to the next area. Um, that's normally how it normally goes. What I know is that there's loads of people in a building. The place sounds very small as well. It sounds like almost like a studio flat, a box flat. I mean, she calls it a box flat, but it sounds like a studio flat. So, so that must be really tight in there. Like, I'm almost picturing the size of the house the flat or the apartment, as you know.
A part of that and living with my biological fathers taught me to not ask for help.
Yeah.
Even to this day, something that I'm trying to like overcome, because obviously being in the cult, you learn that people aren't trustworthy. You learn that people are bad, people hurt you. You can't trust anybody and no one's going to be there.
Yeah.
And I would be lying if I said I still don't believe it today. I think to this day, I still kind of believe it. I'm not really sure to what degree, but in an instance where it is that we did need help, let's say, for example, the help is not going to come. The help is us.
Yeah.
Because to even get help, you need to see that there's an issue first to even be able to get the help.
Yeah, of course.
We struggled to identify that there was an issue that needed like resolving and stuff. And so no one ever came to help. Like even if I'd been in a fire before, I didn't get any help for that.
Yeah.
My leg was burned. I didn't call for help just because I didn't know. I'm not used to calling for help in situations like this. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've done it before. I've had to call the police a few times on my biological father, but especially when it comes to myself, I think that's just because when it involves other people, no time, I won't waste any time straight. I'm snitching. Yeah. But when it just came to me, and I think because my self-respect was made to be so low, like being with them, I just kind of forgot about the word help.
Yeah, I mean, coming from an African background, I could slightly get it because it's like we're immigrants. Do you know what I'm saying? We come into this country and we want to do everything by ourselves. We want to stay in our bubble. We want to stay in our circle. Like any sort of like authorities, it's like, no, don't call the authorities. Yeah. It's like we feel like we're going to get in trouble if we contact the authorities. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember one time I set the bin at my house. I was a kid. I was playing with matches. I threw the match in the bin, whatever. Totally nonchalant, moved on to it. Next thing I know, the fire alarm's going off, going crazy. Do you know what I'm saying? But as a kid, I didn't know what to do. My parents went in. Next thing I know, the whole hallway bin is just set alight. The fire brigade came, everything. I remember that day where I got in so much trouble, but my parents was more like fixated like on the fact that you made the fire brigade come here, like, like you made them come out, like, do you know what I'm saying? It's like they come into our house, they seen how we're living, this and that, and I feel like a lot of African parents are like that. But you was at your dad's from the age of 4. You said that it was a box house that you was living in. You said you remember men coming in and out. You referenced a cult. Tell us a bit more about this cult, of what you remember from when a little girl. Like, how was you introduced to this cult?
So when I was younger, and I was having visitation of my biological father, and I started learning the rules. Initially, when I first learned the rules, I wasn't aware of other people. I wasn't aware that there was a whole other, as we would call each other, family. Yeah. I wasn't aware that there was this whole other family that I belonged to. But I think it kind of came at the right time in my life because things with my mum weren't good. I was kind of struggling, like, to find a family in my own actual
You were vulnerable. You was vulnerable. That's it. You was vulnerable. So most cults, what do? They pick on vulnerable people. People who is vulnerable. People um people that is left on the side, right? People that 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 doesn't, well, as they say, doesn't work with society, or they have certain issues with society or certain stuff, and that's what he did. He was vulnerable. He took advantage of it. He introduced you to a cult instead of protecting you. He introduced you to some strangers, because they are strangers to her. They're strangers, and and he kind of initially told her, well, this is your family. Like, there's no, like, this is your family. Nobody else is your family. These are your family.
Family.
Yeah.
And so when we'd learned all the rules and stuff, and my biological father was really, really sad. He was very, very sad. Like, especially after I learned the rules, he just turned into, he went quiet.
How old was you when you can finally say, I've learned the rules? Like, you knew the rules?
I think it took me until I was about a couple of months, because it was very intense.
Yeah.
Like, every weekend, every time I was with him, before I could even do anything, it was always, so when I was allowed to play outside, I used to be allowed, when I say outside, I mean like when we was living in the box place, there's just the road.
Yeah.
I go up and down on the scooter. And before I could even be allowed to do that, I had to memorize those rules to a T.
Yeah.
And then recite it all back to him. And even sometimes I'd get it wrong and he'd make me go all the way back.
Seriously?
No matter what number I was on, I could get number 89 wrong, go all the way back to 1.
Yeah.
And then recite the whole thing again. So I literally had to learn it. And because I was very academic back then as well, and so I kind of used to treat it as homework.
Yeah.
And so even when I wasn't with him, I would literally go into the twins' room at my mum's house and close the door and just put the lamp and be learning the rules. And eventually I didn't even have to think. It just came to me.
Yeah.
Like, I could just randomly recite any kind of rule. Like, he used to just be able, I wouldn't have to do it chronologically. He could just ask me any rule and I would just,
They would just throw a number and you'll be like, yeah.
Exactly. But eventually, when I finished learning the rules and I was spending weekends with him and stuff, obviously I was very used to my biological father sexually abusing me. He'd been doing that. But I remember on this one occasion that someone else was there. There was 2 people. And I didn't even know like what was gonna happen, but I do kind of remember thinking in my head that the same thing is gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because I just sat there,
Yeah.
as I always did. And then eventually my biological father started to talk a lot more.
Yeah.
He went really quiet. Like, he went through a phase of being like really, really, really quiet. It was really scary.
After you learned the rules?
Yeah, like when I say quiet, I mean he would just be sitting there and like just staring blank. Like, it's like he wasn't there. You could click in his face, you can whatever, like poke him. He wasn't nothing.
Yeah.
And 2 times, one of his friends had to drop me back to my mum's house because he wasn't able to. And then he started drinking and everything was a mess with him. Until eventually he told me, and I literally remember this conversation. We was in a park and I won't lie to you, sometimes to this day, sometimes I'll just go to that park because I don't know why I seem to remember this day like to a T. But sometimes I just go to the park just so I can kind of relive the conversation again. But he was basically saying how he's really sick, but in his head, he needs help. And sometimes he feels like he doesn't want to live and it's scaring him and he doesn't want to leave me. And I remember like I had my scooter in my backpack and I was just saying like, oh no, why? Like, let's go play because like, the swings and stuff. And he was like, there's only one thing that I can do to help him.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, our relationship was like this.
Yeah.
Like, I was a daddy's girl. And we were so close.
Yeah.
And so when he told me that the only way to help him is by listening to his friends and what his friends can do, obviously you're not going to jump and think, oh, he's going to make me do da-da-da. I just was kind of like, okay, I'm going to listen to you. So I need to listen to your friends. I'm going to listen to your friends.
Yeah. And
that same day, we came back from the park in the evening. He was meant to drop me at 4.
Yeah.
He didn't end up dropping me at 4. He dropped me at, I think it was like 7-Eleven or something. He dropped me at like 7-Eleven. And that evening, after we went to the park, we came back to the flat and there was just people there. But I got food after. Every time visiting my biological father as well, food was a big issue. Like, I could see that he was financially struggling as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes couldn't watch TV. Sometimes the power was off. He had like not like a TV like how a TV would be in the house, but it was like a box set thing, and I could put in my CDs and stuff.
Yeah.
But sometimes the power wouldn't work, or he couldn't turn the cooker on and stuff, and so I could see that financially he was struggling.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't understand like what I could do to help until I started to pick up on the fact that every single time these men hurt me, and every single time something happens, we have more money. I can have a scooter. We're gonna go to France and go and see his parents.
So wait, did he basically sell his daughter? Hey, am I picking up right? She said when she would go there, there'd be no lights and stuff there. But then when something happens, then there'll be money available. Did he sell his daughter to these men? What? I'm not going to repeat. I'm not going to rewind it. I'm just like, what? That is crazy. Wow. I've heard some things in my time. I've heard plenty craziness in my time, you know. So he sold his daughter to the men.
Parents and stuff like that, and I started to kind of realize that this was a job, like I was kind of working. And so from a very young age, I used to always say to people like, oh, I'm working, I've got a job, but no one
knew.
Yeah, like obviously no one knew, and no one would say anything, just kind of like, oh yeah, sure.
Did you ever see any money being exchanged?
Yeah, all the time. They had no shame in like showing you that this is transactional to your face.
Yeah.
Like they could be tying me down, and then the other people would be standing there like watching me being tied down and handing the money.
Yeah.
Like literally handing envelopes to each other. And I won't lie to you, especially as I got older and I started to see it a lot more.
Yeah.
It becomes a bit, because I guess the reason why people are doing it is different. Like they're doing it for financial reasons. Or I could be doing it for financial reasons, but I feel like as I've gotten older, I've noticed that it's more so for emotional reasons as well.
In what way?
I haven't seen my biological father in like 4 years.
Yeah.
Sometimes I miss the environment. Sometimes I miss him. I miss my siblings, and I can't seem to get myself. I think the present is an issue that I really struggle with. I'm not living in the present. I'm living in the past, and because of that, my present is now mirroring the past.
Yeah.
I'm finding myself in this endless loop that I just can't break because for what 14, 15 years of my life with him, it was like that. And then it just continued to be like that even after him, that now I can't live in a world where someone isn't doing what it is that I know for them to be doing to me.
Yeah. It's a difficult one, you know, because you are a victim. I want you to recognize that. I know you're probably thinking you're not a victim.
But I'm curious, like, why do you think I'm a victim?
The reason why I think that you're a victim is because you was exposed to loads of things, and you didn't have a choice at that age. You got manipulated into thinking what you was doing was fine, that it was okay. The love that you had for your father also, that got manipulated because your dad used that to his advantage. He knew that you were a daddy's girl. Like, he knew that.
Okay, people, please go and sub to this guy, please. Like, this man is speaking sense. He's looking at it as from a father's point of view and everything else. And yes, she is a victim. She is. Because I was going to say that. But before I could even say it, he said it before I could. Right? She's a victim. And I did say the dad did manipulate her. Right? And he came and he just repeated exactly what I just said. Right? So she doesn't recognize she's a victim because she's saying that how she's still carrying on kind of the same. The same situation is kind of happening. She can't seem to get out of that situation. She's stuck in a cycle. The there is numbers of people I can think of who's like that at this present moment, who's come out of a cult at present, who's still in that psychological thing, right? Where they can't see what's going on beyond that space, that square. The person, okay, and no, I'm not a psychological thingy. I'm just saying the person, the father figure, is kind of done it in a way where, like, yeah, she loves me, you know. Yes, this is my. That's what I'm saying. It's like when he's saying, "Oh, this is my daughter. He's just my daughter." He labeled it. It wasn't like a normal thing. Like, you know, like normal fathers, they like, yeah, this is my daughter, man, and da, 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 da. It seemed like there was a bit more attached to it. And the more she talks, the more I see, the more he sold his own daughter to some people. That's what he's done. And then it's like, yeah. So he must have embraced her more because he know he can get something from that relationship. You know what I mean? I'm gonna let this man try and explain. He's trying to explain to her why she's a victim. So let him continue.
I love my dad, you know what I'm saying? And he exploited that. He used that to whatever reasons, whether it was financial gains or just gains in general. Like, he used that. And you're a little girl, you weren't any wiser to be like, no, dad, you know this is
You know
silly.
why I don't see myself as a victim? It's literally because what you just said, it just reminded me.
Yeah.
You see how we was talking about he might be doing it for financial reasons, and I said earlier that I do it for emotional reasons. Now I've come to realize I also think that he too did it for emotional reasons.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I think that's why I don't victimize myself, because I see myself resembling my biological father so much.
Yeah.
It's so scary. And I don't.
No, it was actually financial reasons. It was financial reasons. He took the Berties. He took the Berties, right? He's your protector. He's your father, right? Parenthood is hard. It's hard, right? I know some people say, no, it's not. In some cases, parenthood is hard. Yes, you, the parent, have to try and be as normal and do certain things. But in this case, he's a leader of a cult. It's different for her. It's not just a normal, what you call it, a normal thing, right? He literally took it so far, right? Like, apart from telling her, oh, whatever, he literally took away the mother, the mother figure, away from her. So even if she could run back to her mum, right, she couldn't. Plus, she's probably very young because, like, you know, the ages that she's saying as well. And I'm just like, no, you are a victim. He's the abuser. He's the abuser, right? And have heard of stories of fathers doing this to daughters, right? This is not a new thing. Like, if you have listened to when it was the Dark Side of Ocean Yeri, there are some stories there. I'll tell you. I'll be like sitting there, shocked for what I'm hearing, because I can't believe strangers that's abusing you is bad enough. Consider, like, but when it's your father who's getting money for that stranger to abuse you, it's 100 times worse, because he's not doing his fatherly job. He's not, like I said, protecting you. He's not protecting you. And you know, she's looking from that emotion from her father, which is normal. This is hence why some girls have father issues and stuff like that. Because when they're trying to get that emotional side from the dad, and the dad don't give it to them, and it's one-sided, it comes an issue. Yeah. Luckily, like I said, I don't know her like, you know, like how, like, with some of these people that come on YouTube, you see all sides of them. I don't know her like that, right? My daughter did actually tell me about her, and I was meant to look at her channel, and I was actually apprehensive because I've been covering Velvet and this one and that one and this one. Funny enough, when this turned up on the space and I saw his channel, this guy's channel, Glow Talks channel, and I listened to a little bit of it, and I had to stop it because I realized that how people don't understand the deepness of this. They take these things, they think it's fun and games when you see children being paraded online and stuff like that, like it's a joke. It's not a joke, right? So when you're hearing this now, even though it's a court situation, it's the same as the children being paraded on it, because sometimes it's done in such a way you think that parent, and I'm not saying I'm the greatest one, neither myself, because, like, you know, everybody have their flaws, right? It's the things that they do to their children. You just think, what? Huh? Like I said, I can't believe how many times I've heard stories, and I'll just be flabbergasted, shock. I think sometimes I don't even complete the live because I've heard so much. I'm like, hell, like, what in hell is going on, like, with these people? What makes you think that you can do that to your child, right? That's what I said. There's a reason why, I didn't get into certain jobs before when I started doing the stuff I was doing before, because I don't even know. I don't know. I would have to take things into my own hands at this point. She doesn't see herself as a victim. And I feel like she's, even though after he explained all that, she still doesn't get it. She still doesn't see the love of her father. That's what she sees, right? That's what she sees. And then she's saying, but wait, but I needed emotional. He should have been giving you emotional love anyway, right? Emotional love, emotional everything else, whatever. Fair enough, right? You can't. There's certain things that people cannot control. Bills is one of the things that people cannot control, right? But at the end of the day, he should not have did what he did. That's just wrong. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's just wrong.
He's not a victim. I know he's not a victim. I know that what he does is not pleasant for me.
Yeah.
And I don't know that it's wrong towards me, but I know 100% it's wrong towards other people. But I think for that exact reason is why I don't see myself as a victim, because me and him both have in common that it's different. I'm at a different end. He's the one who's actively doing it, and I'm the one who's receiving it. And because I'm so used to receiving it, I don't know how to allow myself to be viewed as the victim.
No, you are the victim, Wealth. You are the victim, you know. You're the victim. I wish I could tell you this straight. Believe you are a victim. Like, I know you don't see it. You are a victim. You are a victim, hands down. Right. Right. You. I know I'm gonna repeat on here. People, I tend to repeat myself. Okay. All right. You are a victim. Let me before I repeat myself again, I'm gonna put it back on.
And because he's so used to being the one to kind of like implement it, I don't think he's able to see himself as being, let's say, the perpetrator, as people would say.
Have you heard of the phrase Stockholm syndrome?
When people are obsessed over the person that hurt them.
Well, I'll tell you the true definition of it. for clarity for yourself and the viewers. Stockholm Syndrome is a psychological response where hostages or abuse victims develop positive feelings towards their captors or abusers. It's a coping mechanism characterized by a bond, sometimes including affection or sympathy, with the person causing them harm. It's not a recognized mental health diagnosis, but rather a way to understand the emotional response some individuals have in these situations.
But see, it says it stems from a bond. I don't think me and him have a bond, so I don't think Stockholm Syndrome applies to me.
You don't think he had a bond? I think he had a bond.
We had a bond when I was younger, but...
Virgin Games, introducing Jackpot.
All these years later, like I'm not even talking the 4 years I've just been in care. Me and him stopped having it. The minute I came to permanently live with him, when I was 11, I'd say that's when like I lost him forever. Like I was still living with him, but when I was 11, he wasn't human anymore. He was so like I didn't even remember his voice like that.
But you know, a bond doesn't have to be a physical bond. It could be an emotional bond. It could be
Break it down, dude. Break it down. Tell her, because she ain't seeing what you're talking about. She ain't seeing it. Unfortunately. She ain't seeing it. Break it down. I'm so glad it's a man that is doing this. You know why I'm glad? Because hopefully in her mind, she'll remember at least one man tried to explain her the situation she's in. You know what I mean? Right, yes. That's the word I'm looking for. Stockholm Syndrome. Thank you.
intellectual bond, like.
But I don't know if I'm bonded to him or just to the experiences itself, because there's so much to uncover about why it is that I guess my experiences are still my experiences to this day. Because obviously there's siblings. Like I miss my siblings, and everything that I love is basically stuck in the past.
Yeah.
And in order to kind of get like, this is gonna sound crazy, but sometimes I forget how my little brother, my little sister look like or sound like and stuff.
Yeah.
And especially when I didn't have a phone.
Yeah.
And I was running away a lot whilst I was in care. I was finding myself back in these situations, but I wasn't finding myself back in it for money and stuff. I was finding myself back in it so I could remember like how it felt and my siblings and their faces and stuff. Because that's just how, like, I don't know how to explain it, but that's the closest way sometimes I can get to remembering them.
Yeah.
Like remembering them asking me like, okay, what time are you gonna come back? Why are these people hurting you and stuff? Like I feel like those experiences kind of bring me closer to them, and that probably sounds really, really bad.
I mean, yeah, it does sound bad if I'm going to be honest, but it's your brain has been.
See,
you know,
I feel like my brain can't.
You know when when someone goes to the army, yeah. A bit extreme example, but I'm going to use it. You know when someone goes to the army, they get trained to think a certain way. You know, imagine you as a normal person, you walk into an army camp, you get given a gun, and you're told, go to the front line, shoot these people. They're shooting back at you, and then you can go back home. It's crazy. You're going to think, what the hell? That's why the army has concentrated camps where they teach people mentally to accept what they're doing and accept that what they're doing is right, and to accept that when they are going out to kill people, they're doing it for their country. I'm not in the wrong. This isn't murder. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like you're kind of like in that mindset where you have been trained in a way, like you've been taught things in a way, you've been introduced to cults which have their own way of thinking, and you've walked out of there and you thought, no, what they're doing is right, what you lot are doing is wrong, what's acceptable and what isn't.
Sorry to interrupt, but I feel like when I would go through those phases and like the times of, because I always get into those moments of questioning, like, okay, me doing this, is this what I really want to do or not? But I feel like time and time again, I found myself in situations that have shown me that I feel like the cult is the only place that I belong, because it's the only consistent thing I've had. Like, what I got taken out of my biological father's home in 2021. I've moved to thousands, not thousands literally, but bare placements. And through all of that move, all the people who have left, all the change in therapies, the change in boroughs, address, social workers, it's literally always been the cult to always, not my biological father's cult, but it's always been this one specific cult, the one that was responsible for my car accident. It's always been them to be there. Like, no matter which, like, they might sell me to this group or whatever, but they always just kind of, they're always there lingering.
And
That sounds bad to people. It's probably like, oh, they're probably still preying on you and stuff like that. But then to me, in my head, no one's done the whole checking thing. No one stays. People just do what they need to do and then go. But then the fact that it makes me feel like I have somewhere to return to and somewhere that I belong. Because especially like when you're in care, you lose your sense of identity and sense of belonging. That yes, you've given me a placement and it has an address and whatever, but
That part, you see that part you just said there, right? That is exactly what it is, right? They are around because they are making sure, one, that how, right, you never leave the cult in a kind of way. They're always around. So like you said before, the cult become like the family. So like you're moving around to all these different placements, and they're there. They're always in the background somewhere. They're in the background. They're behind the hedges. Like, you're never free of them. It's a situation, man. But yeah, I have heard that how when people's in care and stuff, they go through a whole set of another set of situation traumas and stuff, and they it's like they're looking to be part of something, looking to be part of someone, some part of a tribe, basically part of something. So I get it.
doesn't feel like home.
Yeah.
Like when I'm upset, sometimes it's not the place that I want to go to, but then other times, like, I think of the cult and I'm kind of thinking, okay, I'm upset and I want to go back there because I know they're not just going to be there today. They'll be there any other time that I need them. And then again, also, it feels like I'm fulfilling the role and fulfilling my duty as a sacrificial lamb. Number 3, it feels like people would be proud of me. People who I've left in my past, it feels like they'd be proud of me. And because I constantly seek validation as well from people. I've noticed that about myself because I understand why I do, because none of my parents really ever gave me that attention growing up.
Yeah.
Not in my education, not emotionally, not personally.
Yeah.
And so I started to kind of seek validation through other things, and I guess that's one way to seek validation. And I noticed as well that the only way that my biological father would ever give me any sort of attention, I guess, was if he was ever hurting me or doing something. That's the only ever way that I was ever loved, was through that way. And because the cult does that, I see that as stability. I see it as constant stability, because they're doing the things that my child, like, that happened to me in my childhood. And so I'm so used to that I'm telling myself it's stability, and I seem to believe it.
So let's break down this cult then, because your first experience of this cult, or should I say men coming into the house, was you was a young girl. Your dad obviously has told you that he has mental issues, if you like, and that he's going through a lot, and the only way it can get better is if you listen to his friends. Now, you went home that evening and there was men at the house. What was your first experience with these men, and where was your dad? What was he doing?
There's probably just too much screen time.
But what if it isn't? It's time to get some midlife clarity. Fast, affordable services supported by expert GPs. Book your scan or health check now at vistahealth.co.uk.
Involving himself, he would just be there watching. Like, I have so many memories. Like,
Okay, I feel like I gotta put this. I think it's gonna be coming in 3 parts because it's a lot. Okay, so just now, as you saw, like the adverts, there's lots of adverts, right? So I'm gonna let it play for a little bit more longer, and then I'm going to leave it here. And you see, like this is exactly what I feel that was going on with not saying that Tao, her daughter, went through abuse or nothing, but I feel this is the same thing that was going on with Jean Gasol son and daughter, daughter. You know, because remember she's part of the kingdom of Kabbalah and certain things is whatever. I mean, you know what I mean? So you're hearing it from 2 different point of views. Bear in mind they're both from African origins, and this one is more detailed, I can say, because she says a lot. Because even the introduction to the cult, the cutting off of people, certain stuff, like, you know what I mean? That is really how cults work, literally. And what she's saying, right, she is talking about abuse in this as well. I mean, the presenter is really good. I actually rate him actually with this video here. He actually has done his homework on a lot of stuff, and I can hear it. See, so it's like I thought I'll be breaking it down a lot, but it's not. Like, he kind of says what I'm thinking or what I've already said. So it's like part and parcel of like what this young lady needs to understand is that as much as you love your father abused his position, because that's exactly what he did. That's exactly what it is, right? He abused his position. And no, I'm not telling you to hate your parent, because if I tell you to do that, I'll be wrong to say that, right? He abused his position so much levels, like you have to be taken into the system. And I think she talks about the system as well. But because I've got to go and do something as well right now, I've got to do something important as well, a little bit too. I just thought I'm gonna do this one because I was meant to do it before, but like I said, it's holidays over here, and it's difficult when there is children in the background because there's certain things they shouldn't hear, right? And she did actually say a lot, and I wouldn't want to put that into a child's head, you know. So, because children are like sponges, like, so it would be wrong of me to play this type of thing, even if I have got headphones, like, you know, then you'll hear the child in the background. It wouldn't make no sense. So, and because of the subject matter, because it's a heavy subject, right? This is why I used to put it on the other channel, because when it's subjects like this, not right, some people find it's very hard to discuss. Some people just use this as content. No, sometimes it's beyond content, because you don't know who's listening on the other side of these devices as well. So when you're talking and you're giving advice, the person might take that advice, even if you give in an organization to whom they can go to, right? Mentors. Like, she is fairly young anyway, and the man in this podcast, I applaud him because he's trying to make her see, look, right, you got Stockholm syndrome as well. That's why you don't see it like this, like, you know what I mean? He's not even aggressive in his talking. He's fairly calm. I'll say he's got, I don't know whether he does mentoring or whatever. He gives me the impression that he's able to talk to young people and explain to them certain stuff, and you know, so his whole channel's not based on this alone, right? He has interviewed a few people. His channel is Glow Talks, and I will continue this because I need to add this to my content because of the Kabbalah Kingdom, right? And the situation that it be. So it just shows you how deep these cults can go, even with their family, right? Family wise and all that. So you know, so with that said, thank you, Omar, for coming through. Because I've reached 1 hour, I'm not gonna prolong it, make it 2 hours. It will, like, you know, please have a listen. If you have come and you listen on the replay, even though there's a lot of technical difficulties, please listen to this young lady's story, right? She goes by the name of Wealth. Please listen to her story, right? This is just some of it. This is not all of it, because I tell you, it's a whole lot. There's a whole lot, okay? So, and I'm not even going directly to the channel, because the channel, she does break down a lot. So with that said, I would leave it like here, and I'll see you in the next one. I am going to edit it because of all the crazy, you know, stuff. I don't like when things looks different, like wrong and stuff. So I'm not gonna take it off. I'm gonna leave it on, and you can come in and you can listen to her story, right? So with that said, before I repeat myself again, I'm gonna come off, and I'll see you in the next one. Hope might be part 2, right? I'll see you, okay? So with that said, I'll see you later. Take care. Bye.